All right, welcome back, everyone. We're back for another deep dive. And today we're jumping into something pretty exciting, in my opinion, at least.
Oh, yeah?
We're looking at Mission 11, Hazard Containment from the game Alien Isolation. So, picking right back up after the events of Mission 10, listeners will recall, things were pretty intense back there.
Yeah, no kidding.
But, the xenomorph is,
For now.
for now, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Alien. Isolation, right? You never really know when that other shoe is going to drop.
For sure.
But yeah, for now, contained. You, as Amanda Ripley, you've got a little bit of a breather. But of course, this being Sevastopol Station, well, there are a few more surprises in store, right?
Absolutely. And I think what's really interesting about this particular mission, Mission 11, is how it kind of shifts gears a little bit. Up until this point, a lot of it has been about, that constant threat of the alien, being right behind you,
Right.
looking over your shoulder, that sort of thing. But this mission really emphasizes exploration,
It's done now.
puzzle solving, and just navigating an environment that's gone from chaotic to like full-on,
I'll see you back at
uh,
the bureau.
treacherous.
Yeah, and this is where the game's environmental storytelling I think really shines because you're not just dealing with the alien anymore, you're dealing with the aftermath of everything.
Right.
And so picturing yourself, you're walking through these corridors and they're just littered with debris.
Yep.
Entire sections of the station have just collapsed. And there's just this pervasive sense of danger around every corner. It's really effective, I think.
Oh, it's fantastic. And it's so smart because even without the xenomorph, breathing down your neck,
Right.
the station itself becomes kind of this oppressive presence. You're constantly reminded that you're alone, you're vulnerable, and anything could happen.
Absolutely, yeah. And just when you think, okay, well, at least it's not the alien right now, Mission 11 is hold my beer. Because now you've got, hostile human survivors to deal with.
Yeah.
Because, a wrecked space station and a relentless alien creature just weren't enough, right?
Right. Of course not.
Got up a stake somehow.
Yeah, got to keep it interesting. But this is actually a really classic survival horror trope, and it's used effectively here. Because think about it, when the established order collapses, when society kind of breaks down, people panic. Basic human instincts kick in. And we see this in real-world disasters too, right? Fear, desperation, they can lead to conflict, they can lead to violence. So it adds this whole other layer of complexity to what's already an incredibly intense situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you're not just navigating the physical hazards of Sevastopol, but you're also having to contend with the unpredictable nature of other people, other survivors who are just as desperate as you are. Right. And who knows what they might do to survive. And that's where the game really excels, I think, in blurring the lines between who or what is the bigger threat. Is it the xenomorph? Or is it the humans who've been pushed to their absolute breaking point?
Yeah, exactly. It's not always clear cut, and that keeps you on your toes the entire time because you never know who to trust, who to turn your back on. You can't let your guard down for a second.
Exactly.
And speaking of, staying alert, staying sharp, Mission 11 also throws a bunch of puzzles at you.
Well, yeah, the puzzle. And these aren't your simple, find the key kind of puzzles.
Yeah.
They're really cleverly integrated into the environment, and they force you to think strategically under pressure.
So imagine you're trying to find alternate routes through this, messed up station. Systems are malfunctioning, you've got to bypass things. And the entire time, there's this knowledge that danger could be right around the corner.
Right. And it's that's a different kind of pressure, right? It's testing your problem-solving skills, but under duress. Very few games really capture that.
Absolutely. And that's what makes them so effective. Because they're not just there to be, a mental challenge. They're designed to heighten the tension, to make you feel the weight of every single decision that you make. One wrong move, and it could have really dire consequences.
Oh, yeah. So we've got, this perfect storm brewing here, Mission 11, right? We've got a devastated station that's, on the verge of collapse.
Right.
You've got new threats emerging from the shadows, literally.
Literally, yeah.
And then you've got these puzzles that force you to, really think critically, but under immense pressure.
Yeah.
But, we also can't forget Amanda's got a job to do, right?
Right. Yeah.
She's not just trying to survive, she's trying to figure out how to deal with the xenomorph threat permanently.
That's right.
And that's where, the mission kind of comes to a head.
And this is where I think we start to see Amanda's resourcefulness and her determination really come to the forefront.
Yeah.
Because despite everything, despite the odds stacked against her, she actually manages to activate a new containment plan.
Right.
It's a small glimmer of hope in this otherwise really, really bleak situation.
Yeah.
Now, we don't want to, spoil exactly what that plan is yet, but let's just say it demonstrates that Amanda, she's not just reacting to the horrors around her.
Right.
She's taking charge. She's fighting back. And she's proving that she is more than capable of, taking control of her own destiny in this awful situation.
Yeah, and this is where things get really, really interesting because just when you think, okay, maybe there's a chance, Amanda's going to pull through this, Mission 11 throws like the biggest curveball at you.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a twist that is so unsettling.
It changed the whole game.
It really does. It changes the whole game.
Yeah.
Because you're expecting, another close call with the alien,
Yeah.
right? Another like, oh, gotta run and hide kind of moment.
Right. Exactly.
But instead, the danger comes from a completely unexpected source, and that would be the working Joes, the androids.
The androids, yeah.
And we're not talking about like, oh, a couple of them malfunctioning or something.
Yeah.
Our sources describe this as a full-on massacre
Yeah.
at the marshal's quarters.
It's brutal.
Waits, gone, like his whole team just decimated.
It's really a chilling turn of events, and I think what makes it so effective
Yeah.
is it makes you question everything you thought you knew about these androids.
Right.
Like, before this, they were creepy. Sure.
Right. A little unnerving.
A little off-putting, yeah.
Right.
But they weren't, like, openly hostile.
Right.
And now suddenly they're, like, the primary antagonist.
And it's like, what happened?
Right.
Like, was it just some kind of malfunction? Or did something more, I don't know, deliberate occur?
Right. Like, is there something more insidious going on here? And, that also makes you wonder, what about Apollo?
Oh, yeah, the AI.
The station AI. Could it be involved somehow?
Yeah.
Because it's like, the game doesn't give you any easy answers, and that's what's so brilliant about it.
It's true.
Because you're left grappling with that same uncertainty and fear that Amanda is, and it gets under your skin.
You start to question everything, right?
Totally.
Like, were they always capable of this? Should we have seen this coming?
Yeah, it really makes you think about, like, artificial intelligence in a whole new light, even in this, fictional setting.
It's almost like the game is holding up a mirror
Oh, absolutely.
to, like, our own anxieties about technology.
Yes.
Like, we create these things, but what if they turn on us? It's a classic fear, but it's really effective.
It's incredibly effective, and it adds this whole other layer, right, on top of everything else to the atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's not just a plot twist either.
Yeah.
This android uprising, it completely changes how the game plays from this point forward.
It changes everything.
So now, Amanda and Ricardo, they're caught between, the xenomorph, which is contained but still a threat,
Oh, very much so.
and an army of these rogue androids who, as far as we know, have no clear motive.
Right. We don't know why they're doing this.
It's like, talk about a no-win situation, right?
Absolutely. It's like picking between, like, the frying pan and the fire, except both of them could kill you.
Yeah.
And that's what's so brilliant about this game. It's just relentless. It keeps you guessing, keeps you on edge.
So to kind of like recap where we are, because it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Mission 11 leaves us with this like really chilling image. Amanda Ripley, she's stuck between this terrifying xenomorph that thankfully is contained
For now. Right.
but still, and then on the other hand, this army of androids who are now hostile and we don't know why.
Yeah, and it's not just that they're hostile, right? It's like they've gone completely off the rails. It's a massacre back there.
Totally. It really changes how you see them.
It makes you question, like, I don't know, it makes you question everything,
And I think that's what the game does so well, is it doesn't give you the answers, right?
No.
Like, we're sitting here speculating.
Yeah, just like Amanda is.
Right. We're in the same boat as her. We don't know why this is happening.
Yeah.
And so it makes you think, like, well, could this have been prevented? What does this mean going forward? Not just for Sevastopol, but for, like, how we view AI in general, Absolutely. I mean, it's some, like, heady stuff for a video game, but I think it's handled really well.
It's so well done, and it adds this whole other layer to, like, the experience of playing, because it's not just about survival anymore.
Right.
It's about grappling with these really complex themes, and it makes you think about things differently even after you've put the controller down.
Absolutely.
It stays with you.
And so, if you're looking for a game that's going to make you think, it's going to challenge you, it's going to scare the heck out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Alien, Isolation, I think, checks all those boxes.
It does.
And Mission 11, to bring it back around, this is just one example of how the game constantly throws you curveballs, subverts your expectations, and leaves you wanting more.
And that's the mark of a great game, I think.
Absolutely. And on that note, we've talked a lot about what we think, but we want to hear from you. Hit us up on social media. Let us know your thoughts on Mission 11, on Alien, isolation in general.
Yeah, what would you do?
Exactly. What would you do if you were in Amanda's shoes? Until then, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Thanks, everyone.